Welcome to Mark Alyn's Culinary Adventures. Spring has sprung. It is glorious here in Southern California. We're going to have a day or two of warm weather, and I think it was 80 degrees here in Thousand Oaks, maybe even up to 86. I can't believe it. It's just great. It's going to be a very, very warm summer, but we will have some warm recipes for you during that time. Well, because it's spring, it's time for the spring holidays, and we're going to start by celebrating Passover. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about wines for Passover, and then we'll do a couple of foods for Passover, and we'll end with Easter as well. So, with that, we're going to go to Israel in just a couple of moments and talk about wine from Israel. Don't go away as Mark Alyn's Culinary Adventures takes to the air. Whoopee! Welcome to Mark Alyn's Culinary Adventures. Carol, thank you for everything you do. We've got a great program planned for you today. Our guest is Etti Edri, and she is with, I'm a little confused here. She is with Yatir Winery, and they have a new wine out. It's Darom Cabernet. We'll be talking about that. Let's go to Israel. Let's bring in Etti right now. Hello, Etti.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, our pleasure. We're looking forward to this. Um,
Same here.
you're one of the management team on the management team of Yatir Wines, and how long has Yatir been in business?
Well, we were established in the 2000, but basically, because it's a winery, you gotta plant your vineyards at least 4 years before. So officially, it's 1996, but the real story goes back to late 80s when we planted vineyards up in what we call Arad Valley. It's a valley of height of 500 meters above sea level. It's not so far from the Dead Sea, actually. So that's
Ah,
where the winery is located. So established officially in year 2000.
and so it's 25 years,
Yes, exactly.
right?
Celebrating our silver wedding, as we call it.
Yeah, your silver anniversary. Um,
Yeah.
the wines that you've produced before Durham have not been varietals. Okay, let's talk about the difference between varietals and, I guess, table wine.
Sure. Well, Yatir basically produces well, we have most of our vineyards located at the Yatir Winery forest, which is not so far from the winery itself. But the Darom, which means south in Hebrew, is vineyards that are located also in the Negev. So it's a combination of the southern Judean hills vines and also the Negev. But these are desert vineyards, means it needs to grow in it's a certain climate that you need to adapt to if you are a grape, let's say a vine grape. So we are talking about several
I'm a
varieties.
grape. I'm purple.
Well, I'm black, so I can be a little of between Shiraz and Cab.
Yeah, got
So
it. Yeah.
and when we do make wine in such a extreme climate, we get 70 millimeter rain a year. You do have to know and adapt your varieties into that weather. And some of them are called Carignan. We also have a Grenache. We do Zinfandels that are well adapted to hot climate. That's why we actually use and we blend between the varietals. And now, because Cab has become, Cab, it doesn't matter where you grow it, it just produces wonderful grapes. I mean, wonderful wine. and it lasts even in hot climates. So we decided to also give that a chance, not just blends, but also make a varietal cab. And it worked out well because I was recently launching it in New York, and the responses were pretty good because Americans in general like, and I think can understand cab better than almost anyone that I know in the world.
Uh, Even though the wines are kosher, um, and this wine in particular is for Passover, but if you buy two bottles or three bottles and don't use them at your Seder, can you drink them, for just drink them as regular wine?
Absolutely. What do you mean? Of course, these are excellent wine to just. I would love to host you at your winery so we can, raise a glass together. These are
Yes.
daily consumption wines. They go very well with Mediterranean meals. They are rich in tannins and colors. They are well produced in the highest techniques of wine productions. We actually invest a lot in the making. We do invest a lot in the growth. We do it like they do it in Spain, Italy, California, and other great areas. And we are very proud to also say that we are a wine country because we used to produce wine thousands of years. And now we are back on the map simply because we can. And we grow our vines in a meticulous way, this way that when it arrives to the winery, we're able to ferment it, use stainless steel, use concrete vats. We also use oak barrels with all kinds of sizes. So you'll find it quite surprising, the beautiful texture that you get, but eventually you definitely can use it on a daily consumptions with beautiful meals.
I have to tell you that they have a beautiful video. I didn't do that video, but it's still beautiful. The next one, maybe I can do that. Um, the area is absolutely gorgeous. I guess the weather is very similar to what I have here in Southern California,
Oh yeah,
because we're a desert, and there
absolutely.
are right, and there
Yes.
are lots of grapes being grown here in
Hmm.
various areas. Of course, in the middle part of California, the Paso Robles area is also known for wine, and Napa Valley in the northern, but they're not as dry as we are. And
Hmm.
there's wineries now in Malibu. Who knew, right?
Wow. Wow.
Right.
Absolutely.
I want to
So
get in
definitely.
you so you can drink this at any time. So what I'm going
Hmm.
to do is I've already opened this bottle, and it's a beautiful label. That's a
Thank you.
tomato, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's not. It's
No,
a,
no.
sorry to confuse you. It's a flower. It's a
Ah,
flower that it's called anemone. It's growing actually in the desert because it grows in massive quantities, mainly after the last rain of the winter. So the when you come to Israel in February, you go down south. That's why we called it also Darom, which is south. You can find them on huge fields spread over thousands, I think, or nearly 1,000 kilometer wide width.
wow. It looks like a tomato, so that's why I assumed that it was. Um, and
It's
this
like a
is
poppy. It looks like a poppy, but it's anemone. It's called.
okay. California, here in California, the poppy is the state flower. I don't know if you
Oh,
knew.
yeah,
Okay.
I knew that. I knew that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and they're I think they're orange. We were in Italy. Didn't we see red poppies? Yeah, we saw red poppies in Italy
Yeah.
at a kosher winery actually.
Oh wow.
Uh, it's I have to tell you what we're going to do next.
Hmm.
Eddie, I'm going to pour myself some wine. Ooh,
Lucky you.
yes. And I'm just going to pour enough to taste.
Also the aromas.
And yes, go for the nose. I'm going to swirl that. Mm, it's now is the wine held in oak cask?
Of course, yeah. It
Yeah.
goes through fermentation in stainless steel to preserve the aromas and freshness of the fruit, and then it goes through concrete vats, and then ages in food res, which is large oak, so you can maintain the aromas throughout the whole aging, also in the bottle. So we do use oak, but large oak. It's around 3,000 liter oak, not the barrique, the 225.
What's the difference? Um, I mean, I know there are different kinds of oak trees, so you use a different kind of oak.
No, it's basically the
Yeah,
same. It's oak. It's French oak mainly
right.
that we also import from France. But the thing is, the surface that you get, the smaller surface of oak you get is less fruit you feel. So we really work on adapting the fruit to the oak. So we want to keep it balanced. And when we do bring a wine from the desert, the fruitness needs to be maintained. And if you want to do that, then you keep it in large oak. That also helps us to maintain the freshness as well.
Before I taste it, Carol, bring the logo back. I just wanted to tell you, I think your logo is beautiful,
Thank you.
and it really is. It has, to me, it has an Asian feel to it, and
Yeah,
even Japanese. Um,
absolutely. A lot of people
it's
said that. And the story behind that logo is actually where the winery is located in front of a 2,800-year-old Judean citadel from the Judean tribe era, which is first century BCE, where it was really excavated in the 50s when Israelis came to the area, and they found uh, thousands of pieces of broken clay, and they had funny inscriptions on them, funny letters. And then, after massive research, they realized it was a Judean ancient Hebrew. Actually, one of the broken clay had specific inscriptions. From the son of the commander of the citadel. He was a son of one of the kings, of the Judean kings, actually being ordered to send wine to the soldiers in the desert in order to feed them and give them a drink, because water cannot be found in the desert. So we understand definitely for sure that we were heading the right track of bringing back that history to life by producing high quality wines that grow in the area. And that's what we have done since the mid 90s.
and I believe there's like 130 acres that you're growing.
We have around now it's going to be around 1,000 dunam, which is 100 hectares in general, and it's
Wow,
250. It's going to be 250 acres. So
250 acres. Wow, of wine. Well,
yes,
this is the time, okay? I whoa. I I'm a little clumsy, but
it's
everybody knows
okay.
that. I did not spill. I did not spill. This is too precious to spill. The color
We
is
believe in Hebrew. Sorry to disturb you.
yeah.
We believe that when wine is being spilled on the table, it's a great blessing. That means you're going to have a lot of fortune.
Ah, in that case, I am going to spill the whole bottle. It's the beautiful color, a deep red, and I smelled the oak as soon as I poured it and stuck my nose into it. So now's the time when I'm gonna take a taste.
Good. Enjoy L'chaim.
Mm, very smooth.
Thank you.
Um, I
Happy to hear.
feel the tannins on the end. This is a nice wine, and it's a medium priced wine. It's about
Hmm.
$35 American, and you can get
Hmm.
it, I know, at kosherwines.com, but you should look at other outlets, uh, kosher, I guess, grocery stores, or where else can you get this?
Well, basically, it's a newcomer. It just arrived in February. So, kosherwine.com definitely is one of my favorite online shop because it has all the other offers as well. All of your tier wines you can find, and they ship all over the country where they're able to. So, for now, it's definitely there. But if you're a New Yorker, and I know we're talking to
Hmm.
Californians,
Yeah.
California always it takes a little bit more time until the wine arrives, but you can find Yatir wines definitely on Pico Avenue. There's also in Total Wines. You can find our wines in general. They're really really nice to drink. The Darom is just the second label. It's actually a wine that we produce that it would be affordable. We call it affordable luxury series because Yatir can range up from $50 all the way up to $120 a bottle. It's a higher, it grows in higher altitude, which is, if we were talking now about the cab, around 500 meters above sea level, with now going up all the way to 600 to 900 meters, which is nearly 3,000 feet, something like that. So it's
Oh my.
higher, and yeah, it's a higher quality. It's also growing in the largest hand planted forest in Israel. You know, JNF of Israel is actually a foundation that plant trees and made Israel bloom. Today, we have many more trees than we had when we were established. So, with that being said, we have a forest that grows, and in the middle of the forest, they actually left empty plots for us, the vintners, to come and plant our vines. And it is one of the best, great areas to grow vines because you were talking about California. California is a Mediterranean climate because you
Yes.
have journal changes between night and day and differences between seasons, and we experience the same thing. And because we are high elevation, we're actually able to promote very high quality grapes that eventually turns into the winery. Eran Goldwasser, our winemaker, Goldwasser means gold water. I mean, it is in the desert. Gold
Yeah.
water is like definitely the wine that we drink, and we definitely can toast to him.
By the way, you mentioned Zinfandels.
Yeah.
California has some old vine Zinfandels, and that's become one of my favorite wines recently. Uh,
Mm,
I love a cab, and this would be great with a steak tonight,
of
or
course.
even chicken. I think this would
Oh
go
yeah.
well with chicken. Um,
Yeah.
and I've
It's a
even
full bodied
made,
wine, but it definitely can work well
yes,
with the poetry as well.
right. I actually would like this with some fish. I think a salmon would go well. I know it's a full body, but
Hmm.
I break rules all the time. I'm going to take another.
Enjoy. It's definitely not breaking the rules,
Mm,
but it's actually matching your palate to the food you love.
right, and I forgot to do the prayer, um,
Nahon.
which I should have done, and I'll do
Okay.
that now very quickly. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Amen. Um, I taste berry in there. It's a luscious
Cassis,
wine.
maybe?
Yeah, yes, I can see that. Also, it's it's a little jammy, and I think it's a young wine. It's only two
Hmm.
years old, right? So this will
Yeah.
last on a wine shelf
Oh,
for a long
absolutely.
time, right?
Hmm.
And
Oh, yeah.
age well. So that's something to consider. All right,
Hmm.
let's talk about Eddie just a little bit, okay?
Okay.
You're a nurse. You were a nurse. Um, uh, how do you go from being a nurse to being a wine expert?
Actually, I think there's a lot in common. I used to live, like I told you, in the States. I worked in California as well as a nurse. I love doing that, but I think it's really the love of people. You love people, and producing wine even makes you, we say that wine makes you healthy because when you drink a glass of wine a day, you get all these antioxidants with it that comes along with it. And it's definitely healthy in a good manner. And combining that together from being a person who took care of people, I kind of make healthy people healthier today.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of keep the trade going on with from nursing to wine, but the nurse is always a nurse. I'm always going to be there with my heart, but it's definitely, I think it's a much lighter and easier work, and I make people happier as well.
And with wine, I mean, there's a lot of controversy about alcohol in general right now, and we'll
Yeah.
touch on it just a little bit as we wrap up. And that is that alcohol is bad for you, and of course in excess, but in moderation is alcohol, especially wine in this case, okay?
Yeah. Well, we know that when you drink excessive alcohol, that's not good. You do have to have moderation like you do with everything. But we know for sure, and when I look at my Bible, my Jewish Bible, is the Old Testament, as we call it, it says that there's a phrase that says, Yain yesamach levav enosh. It says, it makes your heart happy. And throughout the time, the researchers show that the antioxidants that inside the wine, you do let the wine sit with its pulp. And the pulp has very strong antioxidants in
Mm,
it. And it's important to drink it when you eat fatty food. It dissolves the food like the French do, and they do it for so many years. And they live in many
mm,
villages for a long time. But all you gotta make sure is that you
mm.
drink it with your food. You drink and you eat together. That's definitely protecting you, and therefore you know that when you eat dinner and you have a glass of wine, and it's not like a full glass, it's small quantity, it's definitely gonna you're gonna definitely benefit from it, not the vice versa.
Right. And by the way, this wine has about 13% alcohol, which
Yeah,
is
high,
about
relatively.
high. It is high for wine, but it
Mhm.
for cabs. And this is a blend, is it not?
No, it's a mainly cab.
Mainly cab.
Wine, yeah, because in Israel you have to have 85% Cabernet Sauvignon in order to call it a cab. But there's an additional 15% that we use. Sometimes we use Petit Verdot, we use Tanat. It depends on how the cab comes in. But 13% in Israel is not high because the percentage of alcohol definitely comes
Uh,
from the sugar that you get from the sun, and we
right.
definitely do have, like in California, a lot of sun, and some of the wines even can reach 14 to 14.5%. There were years that we were fighting with 15% alcohol, but
Oh
13%
my.
is pretty cool. It's pretty good. It doesn't make you fall off your seat, and it goes really well with Mediterranean meals. Definitely doing the work.
Eddie, thank you very much for being with us. And will you come back sometime, maybe at another holiday, and we'll open another bottle and share it.
Of
It
course, always
I
at your service.
and I have to tell you, it's like it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon while we're recording this show in California, but it's 10
Right.
o'clock, 10 o'clock at night
Right.
for Eddie, right?
Right. Yeah. For when you
So,
drink wine, you're like the whole days of the hour. You don't really count them, especially when you're excited and you talk to the other side of the world. It feels like I'm at 10 a.m. right now with you there. And I'm really grateful that I have this chance to talk about our wines because so many times people don't know, and my a part of my mission is to share the Israeli wine stories and the culinary experience you can get from being in Israel. And it's exciting for me, so I don't feel like I'm sleepy or anything like that, even though it's 10 p.m. I am, as we say in Hebrew, alive and kicking.
live in We say that in English too. And by the way, even if you're not Jewish, this wine is a great way of supporting Israel. If you believe in
Yes.
Israel and you want to support it, as Carol and I do, um, talking about Israeli products such as Darom's wine is a great way of doing that. Eddie,
Thank you.
I'm going to say shalom, goodbye, but
Shalom.
hold on, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And oh, have a good Passover.
You too. Thank you for all my friends and fellows. Happy Easter, happy Passover, and thank you so much. And enjoy the Israeli wines.
Thank you.
Thank
Um,
you.
in next week, we're going to be doing another wine tasting, and we'll be doing a look at at least one, maybe two different dishes for Passover, and then we'll end up the spring holiday time with doing an Easter show. I want to thank a couple of people. I want to thank Melissa's because they always provide us with such great produce, and it's always fresh, it's always great. And thank you very much, Robert, at Melissa's. I want to thank B&U. B&U makes a variety of honey products from Turkey. These products are uh, 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 ingestibles. And in fact, I squirted some in my nose today. I have a little cold and I'm a big baby. And they have a nasal spray with propolis in it. And it's very, very good. Um, and last, I want to thank Garcia de la Cruz. This is a Spanish olive oil. It is a fabulous oil. We use it not only here on the show, but in our personal cooking as well. Very, very good. Well, with that said, we are wrapping this show up. Thank you very much for tuning in. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye for now. Have a great week.